that is me. So I have a deep friendship with her. So that's how I
Yeah.
see it.
Well, as I was sharing earlier, that my first experience of practicing pranayama while in asana was in your workshop in London, and I think you said it was the year before the pandemic, and it was so amazing for me to have experienced that, because we don't,
Right.
at that point we didn't do that in classes here. So I'm
Yeah,
very excited that you're
I
coming to
see
teach
this in the
that here.
Western world. Now that you say this, the first time I went abroad to teach, I went to Scotland, which is Anna Maria was the first one to introduce me to the Western world. And she invited me for the same reason. She came to Mumbai and she attended a pranayam class taught by me. And then she said, wow, like, this. And then she said, will you come to my country to teach? And by that time, my daughter was, finishing school. So I said, okay, Ravina, let's go for a holiday. The first time, let's step out of our land. And that's how I went to teach in Scotland. And that's how I've trickled down to the different parts of UK through her. So again, it's very strange, but it was the breath which gave this connection. So probably there is a lacuna of people in the Western world teaching about the breath. I'm sure there are a lot of teachers who teach, but not all the students get the opportunity to learn from those teachers. So that is how it probably is like that. But I hope that now it will be not like that anymore.
Well, I want to kind of backtrack a little bit and learn a little bit more about, how Iyengar Yoga has transformed your life, as a householder, how it affects you, in your day-to-day life and this span.
What is transformation? So basically, when we say transform, what something transform, like if this is a phone, right? Now, can it transform? It can change shape. Physical transformation is, the iPhones, like they get smaller and they get larger, and then you have. I need to get a new version now. I'm being scolded by my children. This is very old. Yeah, but so now I'm on generation 8, and that's generation 14. So that's one kind of transformation, right? There's a physical something, and then the technology changes as well. So there is a change. So transformation is essentially a change. So there can be many changes, right? From the physical to the mental, to the psychological, to the emotional in your personality. So I am looking at transformation on every way. So I told you I was very young when I started, and I was pretty shy, little timid. I was quite laid back. All my friends will vouch for it. The lazy one and the group was me. The one who would always be late was me again. So that was my basic personality. And again, I was not stressed about life, but inside me, I was very sensitive. So I was stressed, but it never showed. So I was not stressed about situations in life. Like, I was not stressed about what I will become in life or where I'm going to get my meal in life. I was very sensitive I was very sensitive to relationships. So if relationships get strained among people, I would withdraw. So I was very sensitive to that, and that would make me go into a shell. So in that sense, I was timid and I would get stressed, but it appeared like I was very easy and laid back and very lazy. So this was my personality. Now all that changed with yoga. So everything I told you about. So if you ever meet my husband, he thought that I'm pretty dominating, I'm very headstrong, I'm very sure of myself, and I'm quite bossy. Okay. So in fact, his nickname for me was Pathan Sab. You know what's a Pathan? Pathan is a North Indian, who's very robust, very strong, who stomps, with that it's a race. Basically, it's a race of people who come from the mountains. Very strong, robust race which come from the mountains. Strong people. So he would always call me Pathan Sab. I said, like, I'm not like that, But the thing is that people perceived me like that. So all those changes, I was no longer shy, I was no longer timid, I became assertive, I became confident, and of course I became a teacher. So you had to start becoming assertive as a teacher. I took up teaching as a profession as well. So everything about me changed. Okay. And even in the house with my parents, I I was shy and timid, and mostly, like I would go into my shell for any kind of discord in the house. But I started taking a stand. I started speaking up to my parents, good or bad, I don't know. I voiced my mind. I voiced my opinions. I was firm about things, and I also found success in life because of that. A little proactive attitude, and I found so well. People flocked to me for friendship. It wasn't that even though I was quiet, I remember when I was in school, I was still very popular in school, and I was a student leader. I don't know why I was elected. I don't think I had the qualities, but so that people were attracted to me even then, but later on I found that to be even more so, because when your personality changes, people want to be your friend, people want to come to you, and those kind of things. So many things changed for me there. Okay, so this was one part, transformation. But apart from that, I changed. So see that there's external change. I'm talking about the external change, and then I'm talking about the internal change. So who am I? So the question started coming to me. So I started breaking. And so again, philosophy is something that I took up after I started with yoga. Okay. So another thing, when you talked about learning, I must say that one part which attracted to me to both my teachers and all my teachers for that matter, after Guruji, Geeta ji, Prashant ji, was the philosophy that came in with the class. Not all the students caught on to what Guruji was trying to say. For example, if he said that you have to walk on the edge of a cliff, okay, when you do your Sirsasana, I still remember this. When you do your Sirsasana, you have to stand on your head as if you are standing on the edge of a cliff. Now, for a lot of people, it could be a physical thing, to have your balance, like you're on a precipice. But for me, it translated into a mental state. So how can I be on the edge of a cliff? It's not about my physical abilities, but it's the mind. If the mind is shaky, the body is going to shake. So I picked up a lot of those things in Guruji's teachings, which fascinated me. Okay, and Father Joe, being a priest and also inclined towards religion and philosophy, would bring in a lot of things in his teachings as well. And of course, then Geeta ji, Prashant ji also used to come to Mumbai, and I used to learn from them over the weekends. And then I took philosophy as so even before I met Guruji, I'd taken philosophy as my option for graduation because of yoga. Okay, so again, I found that this is a subject that fascinates me. I never felt as interested to study, let's say, a history, geography, or literature when I was in school. But when I took up philosophy, that fascinated me. The mysticism, the ethics, the metaphysics, that all fascinated me to go deeper. And I went into reading more of philosophy, Indian saints, thinkers, biographies. I went into all those. Shankaracharya, Vivekanand, past yogis. So much. So I was very fascinated. And every time Guruji would give a little talk on an occasion, like, Guru Purnima or the birthday celebrations, the annual celebrations, those lessons which Guruji taught us were very fascinating to me also. So what he could not teach when he was teaching in the classroom, all that came from the platform. And those were also for me not just celebrations, but they were very important lessons. I still have notes. I used to sit and write down what he said. So I have notes from that day onwards. Yes, so from that point of view, I can say that I was the most sincere student in yoga than any other subject in my life. But I was not a studious person, like that way. I mean, I would be a last minute. If I hated writing exams, I would for the exams I would learn only like a month before the exams. So that formal education was not fascinating to me. But because of all this learning over the years, I had informally in a class, on a mat, talking to my, like Guruji would, in the library, when Guruji would sit in the afternoons, he would sometimes pick up a conversation and tell us, hey, do you know this? Hey, do you know that? And he would be writing probably one of the books. It could be, yoga, learn, what is that? Light on Life, or Ashtadal Yogmala, or whatever he was writing, he would have a thought in his mind and he would throw it at people sitting in the library and share it. That, Patanjali says like this, but it is like that. And then in Vyasa's commentary, it is like that. And I'm working on it and I'm still not able to understand this and I'm still trying to express it. And for us, 50% of it went over the head, but 50% of it I could catch. So over time, I would try to catch what he's trying to say, and delve on it. Perhaps read up something on my own if I could lay my hands on. See, those days you didn't have Google and access. You had to wait for a library. Only library was Pune Library, university libraries. You had to go and pick up a book, find a book. So it was very that kind of education was very interesting and fascinating. So I had a very informal education, which contributed to my formal education, because then I didn't have to study very hard. So if I stood first in the university, the first one to be surprised was me. That, who? Me? Okay, that's my name. Like that's me. I was not a topper when I was in school, but all this informal education contributed to my formal learning. I didn't have to study very, very hard, all that. So I think a lot of what I put in my examination papers was what I had learned from my teachers here and from other books. So
That's
all
amazing.
this transformation was my transformation. So not just, like so everything about me changed. The way I thought, the way I lived, the friends I made, the holidays I chose, everything completely, totally. My social awareness, my political awareness, my religious awareness, I stopped identifying. So I did not want to belong to a community, a religion, a nationality, because I started understanding the universality of things. Now I said this yoga is connecting everywhere. I saw people coming from all over the world to Pune. And then I said, they may be from any culture, any background, any religion, any language, but we are all thinking alike. We all feel like we know each other. Everybody is my friend who comes there, no matter what their background, because it's yoga that brings you. So that's how I started looking at it as the Iyengar family, the yoga family, the yoga community. It was so large. So whenever I traveled abroad, people ask me, how do you like it here? How is it different from Mumbai? It's not different, because I feel everybody here is my family. So anywhere I go in the world, I don't feel strange. I don't feel it's a different community, different family. No matter the culture, whether it's Western, Indian, or I still feel the same. So all this changed about me. So many changes.